Fourth grade lesson 12.11 is patterns in measurement units. Our essential question is, how can you use patterns to write number pairs for measurement units? We'll use a table to do this so our brains can get a visual. The table at the right relates yards and feet. 1 yard is the equivalent to 3 feet, right? 3 feet to make a yard. You can think of the numbers in a table as number pairs, 1 and 3, a ratio of 1 to 3. 2 and 6, if I have 2 yards, that's 6 feet. 3 and 9, if I have 3 yards, that's 9 feet. 4 yards is 12 feet, and 5 yards is 15 feet. Think of these as number pairs. The number pairs show the relationship between yards and feet, the ratio between yards and feet. 1 yard is equal to 3 feet, so 2 yards is equal to 6 feet, and 3 yards is equal to 9 feet, and so on. So there's always going to be this pattern going on, right? Lillian made the table below to relate 2 units of time. What units of time does the pattern in the table show? We need to know our relationships between different numbers. Use the relationship between the number pairs to label the columns on the table. We have a 1 to 7 ratio, or a 1 to 7 numbered pair. So 1 of something is equivalent to 7 of something else. And we see that pattern continuing. If you have 2 of them, that's 14. If you have 3 of them, that's 21. If you have 4 of them, that's 28. If you have 5 of them, that's 35. So it's always multiplying up by 7. These are multiples of 7. So this 1 to 7 ratio, they want us to list the number pairs. We have 1 and 7, 2 and 14, 3 and 21, 4 and 28, and 5 and 35. Describe the relationship between the numbers in each pair. On the left, they're multiples of 1. They're going up by 1 each time, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on the right, they are multiples of 7. They're counting up by 7, 7, 14, 21, 28, and 35. Label the columns of the table. Well, what unit of time is 7 times as great as another unit? Maybe you know in your mind which one is 1 to 7 ratio, a 1 to 7 comparison. But if not, they said look at the units of time. So I would flip back to page 503 to this little key here. And we have 1 to 60, 1 to 60, 1 to 24, 1 to 7. Here it is, right here. 1 week is the equivalent of 7 days. So this must be representing the week, and this must be representing the days. So our answer, they wanted us to label this, is 1 week is 7 days, 2 weeks, 14 days, 3 weeks, 21 days, 4 weeks, 28 days, 5 weeks, 35 days. Let's look at the try this. Jasper made the table below to relate 2 customary units of liquid volume. I'm going to highlight that because that tells me which page I need to go to. Customary units of liquid volume. I'll flip to that page to get that key out of there. What customary units of liquid volume does the pattern in the table show? Well, let's list the number pairs. We have 1 of whatever it is equivalent to 4. So we have the number pairs 1 and 4. We have the number pairs 2 and 8, the number pairs 3 and 12, the number pairs 4 and 16, and the number pair 5 and 20. I ran out of room. I'll just put it right there. These are my number pairs, 1 and 4. 2 of whatever it is equivalent to 8. 3 of whatever this is equivalent to 12 of whatever that is. 4 of whatever this is equivalent to 16 of whatever this is. 5 of whatever this is equivalent to 20 of whatever this is. If you want a 6th grade word here, or it might be a 5th grade word, I'm not sure when you learn that. This is the ratio. It's a 1 to 4 ratio. Whatever one of this is always 4 of that. Describe the relationship between the number in each pair. Okay, well, it's a 1 to 4 relationship. For every one, there are 4 of the other. And as a ratio, it looks like that, 1 to 4. 1 to 4 ratio. You'll see that as you get older. But that's all that means is there's for every one of those, of this item, there's 4 of the other measurement item. Okay, well, look, we're going to label that, but we need to go find customary units of liquid volume. Let's find that page number. And on page 483, I went ahead and found that. In the previous lesson, I mentioned you probably want to get some Post-it notes and tab each of these lessons through and make a label of what they are. So I bet you're glad you did that now, because it's going to be quick to flip back to each of those. When it said customary units, liquid volume, I just looked on my tab for customary unit, liquid volume, and flipped to that. Here's my little thing here. Which one of these is a 1 to 4 ratio? That's 1 to 8. That's 1 to 2. 1 to 4 ratio. This is quarts, and this is cups. Are you seeing how to do this now? This is quarts, and this is cups. What other units could you have used to label columns of the table above? What else is 1 to 4? Well, let me flip around in my tabs, and let's have a look. Well, on page 485, I found this, customary units of liquid volume still. It's got just more of them. It still has the 1 quart is 4 cups, but this had more than this had. So 1 gallon is 4 quarts, so it could also be 1 gallon. Oh, that's not where they want that. 1 gallon is to 4 quarts. It takes 4 quarts to make 1 gallon. That's one that we could have used. I'm not seeing any others. This is a 1 to 4 here, and this is a 1 to 4 here. In this key, I'm not seeing any others. The table shows the pattern for 2 units of time. Label the columns of the table with the units of time. So I would go to my units of time page if I need to, because maybe I recognize what the units of time are even without going to that units of time page. We have a 1 to 24 ratio. For every 1 of this, there's 24 of this. If there's 2, there's 48. That's doubled. If there's 3, there's 72. That's tripled, right? Times 3, times 3, times 4, times 4. What will these be? What is a 1 to 24 ratio in time? You might already know that. You might have already written it down. If you weren't sure, you could have flipped to page 503 and then taken a look at all of the units of time. I need a 1 to 24 ratio. 1 to 60, 1 to 60, 1 to 24. There it is right here. So we have days. 1 day is 24 hours. And that's the label for that. Now, I know you're relying on me right now to flip back, and maybe you haven't tabbed your pages yet thinking, oh, she's already doing it for me. But remember, you have to go on Think Central and do it without me. So you may want to tab those pages. I will have Post-it notes out for you to be able to do that. Okay, 2 more practice ones. Each table shows a pattern for 2 customary units. Why are they not using metric units? Because it's always 1 to 10 or 1 to 1,000 or 1 to 2 to 1,000 or whatever. It's always a base unit of 10. So the customary units are the ones that are more like a puzzle. Label the columns of the table. We have a 1 to 2 ratio. For every 1 of this, there's 2 of that. If there's 2 of these, there's 4 of those. If there's 3 of those, right? We're counting by 1s here, then we count by 2s here. That's our pattern. We need a 1 to 2 ratio, something that's 1 of one thing and 2 of another in customary measures. I'm going to pull up all the customary measures down here. Okay, from page 477, I did customary units of length. From page 481, customary units of weight. And page 485, customary units of liquid volume. We need a 1 to 2 ratio. There isn't one on this one nor this one. So maybe, hopefully here, we have 1 pint to 2 cups. 1 quart to 2 pints. That's it. All right, we could use either of those. It could be one or the other. So we're going to have, I'm going to go with 1 pint is to 2 cups. So for every 1 pint, there are 2 cups. You may have, I'll put it in red because you could have used this one too, 1 quart can be 2 pints. Oh, I should just not put 2 there. The label, they just wanted the label. So there's that one. It could have been 2 possible answers there, this one or this one. Let's take a look over here. I have a 1 to 16 ratio. For every 1 of this, there's 16 of this. If I have 2 of that, then that doubles, then this doubles. If this triples, then this triples. If this quadruples, then this quadruples, and so on. So I need to find the 1 to 16 ratio. That's 1 to 12, that's 1 to 3, that's 1 to 36. Here's a 1 to 16. I think that's going to be our only one. 1 to 2,000, 1 to 8, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 4, 1 to 4, 1 to 8. And, oh, 1 to 16 again. Here's another one. Okay. So we end up with two possible answers on this one as well. It could be a pound to ounces, or it could also be 1 gallon to 16 cups. Could be gallon to cups is another possible answer. That's how you're doing this lesson, is you're just kind of letting your brain soak in the knowledge of what these ratios are, also soaking in a little bit of understanding of what they mean by ratios. So when you get to that point, you understand that more. It's the relationship between these numbers. So go ahead and complete this on Think Central. I think you're going to handle this just fine. Just remember, have those pages tabbed or have this screen just sitting there open so you can go back and forth on your tab.